95.1 FM, 790 AM. This is KFYO Mornings. Dave King and Steve Evans with us today. And being a Thursday at 7:35 can only mean one thing.
I'm ready for some good non-COVID-19 news. Nothing like Jerry Reynolds and Car Pro.
And here's the guy that's got it. Good morning, Jerry.
Hey, good morning, Dave. And Steve, great to talk to you again.
Hey, likewise. I'm really, really excited about your test drive because a while back you were in the Ford Expedition, and I happened to be in that day. We talked about this car. My wife and I shopped for this car until she convinced me she needed to go back to a pickup and now an F-150, but really excited about your test drive of the week.
Yeah, I've got the 2020 Lincoln Navigator this week. Just a beautiful, beautiful SUV, large, roomy. Got some really unique features on this thing. When I get the review up first of the week, next week, you're going to see probably one of the prettiest interiors you've ever seen, and a center console that is just out of this world. And Lincoln really put a lot of effort into this thing. I mean, there's push buttons on the dash to change the transmission, to put it from park to reverse to drive, which frees up a tremendous amount of space on that center console. But a really roomy third row seat, good room behind the third row seat. This thing is pure luxury, but of course that comes at a price. It's $92,000 on the window sticker. But
still hadn't caught an Escalade yet, though, has it?
No, you could take this in an Escalade and probably be into six figures. That's just been the nature of it. And of course today's Escalade is going away, and a new one coming out later this year. You got to expect it's going to be even more. But these large SUVs, if you can afford them, it's just such a nice ride and drive. And I think where Lincoln really holds an advantage here is in the front seats. These are the most comfortable seats I have ever sat in, and you can adjust them 32 different ways. So if you're a person with back problems, this is the SUV for you.
That's actually what I was really interested in, what you thought about the seats. That was the one thing that I argued with my wife over and over the pickup is the seats are just, the engineering in the seat alone in this vehicle is amazing. Have you fallen asleep driving it around yet?
No, but it probably wouldn't be hard. It's got right where your knees are on the seat. You can raise either the left side or the right side, or both, which I have back problems. I have for years. And when you're driving this thing, if your back starts to, twinge a little bit like happens, boy, you can adjust those thigh supports, and it makes all the difference in the world.
Jerry, we got any engine options in this, or is it just a one-size-fits-all?
No, it's one size. They're all 3.5-liter EcoBoost engines. 420 horses.
Does it handle it real well?
Yeah, easily. And it's got trailer towing capacity of over 7,500 pounds.
Well, now this is a really heavy vehicle, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I haven't checked the specs, but I'm going to say this one will weigh 5,000 to 5,500 pounds. It's big. I mean, it's long, it's tall, it's wide, and it's got a lot of stuff on it, which, of course, the more options, the more weight. But if you're looking for gas mileage in this vehicle, you're on the wrong vehicle. Keep looking.
Yeah, you don't buy those for mileage. Several months ago, I talked to you, and we talked about I'm a diehard GM guy. I've been in Tahoes and Escalades most of my adult life. So what I've had my wife driving. What would make me want to consider a Ford or migrate to a Ford SUV? I think at the time we were talking about this, we were talking about the Lexus SUV, and you told me in terms of size and comfort, there was no comparison, GM all the way.
Right.
When we put it up next to the Lincoln Navigator, though, and I'm a GM guy, comfortable with Ford, I drive my company car as a Ford. What's going to set the Lincoln above the General Motors product?
I really do. Of course, we haven't seen the 2021 entries yet, the Tahoe, Suburban, Yukon. But today, looking at 2020s versus each other, this Lincoln interior, I think, is far superior. Now, and the other thing about the GM products, and I love them. I've been a big proponent and fan of Tahoe, Suburban, and Escalade and Yukon. But when you get inside those things, they look pretty antiquated right now. It's got the gear shifter on the steering column, which nobody does anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody's got it down on the console, or like this Lincoln with push buttons, so that, you know, the shifter itself doesn't take up a lot of room. I think Ford holds a real big advantage on the interior. But these things go back and forth. I mean, Ford came out first with the fold flat power third row seat. General Motors, on the next time they did a redo, went to that. Mm-hmm. This new Tahoe Suburban family, it's got independent rear suspension for the first time. That's going to be a big deal for the ride, because I think that's another place that Ford has had an advantage, is in the ride. And with that independent suspension system coming in the GM products, they're going to ride a whole lot better. But you know, whatever GM does this year with their changes, Ford will come behind them in a few years and change everything they've done to try to one-up them. That's just the way it is, and that's how competitive this SUV market is.
You know, one thing that was appealing, being a GM guy and kind of migrating into Ford, we've got a brand new F-150 King Ranch, is you can literally put a car seat with a toddler in the back seat, and they cannot kick you in the back. I mean, there's that much room, and I'm just curious, when do you think GM's going to step up? And that they have given you a little bit more room, but when are they going to get to that nice, roomy back seat that Ford's got?
I think it'll be in their next change. I mean, that's been something that people have talked about on the Fords. Is the back seat room? They're massive, you know. But typically, if you don't lengthen a vehicle, something's got to. If you're going to get more middle seat room, then you're going to have to sacrifice it somewhere else. So either going to be in the cargo area, in the third row seat area. I think Ford designers have done a great job, you know, with these things, because they are roomy, especially with the second row captain's chairs, making it so much easier to get to the third row.
Yeah.
Instead of having to move a seat out of the way. And
Jerry?
that's going to, yes.
Yeah, we're up against the clock. We do have a listener this morning who wants to know if you're going to review a Tesla.
I don't know. Tesla will not send any review cars to Texas because Teslas can't be sold in Texas. So
maybe not.
And I've been less than kind to them on the air. I don't know if I'll ever get one, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, hey, Jerry, as always, we loved your spot here on Thursdays, and we do want to remind our audience that you are live on this radio station every Saturday from 11 to 1.
Correct.
Isn't that right?
And
yeah, great reviews on Car Pro USA.
We've got a lot of new information that we put up just yesterday, mostly built around the virus, but it's there and it's good to look at.
CarProUSA.com, correct?
That's it.
All right, Jerry, till next week.
Great to hear from you, Jerry.
And we'll be back with more in a moment.